Allowing tainted juror to continue was fatal to the safety of Kartel's conviction, stated Privy Council. The Privy Council says while it has considerably sympathized with the dilemma faced by the trial judge in the Vybz Kartel murder trial following discovery of jury tampering attempts, allowing the tainted juror to continue in the case was fatal to the verdict. The board is very mindful of the serious consequences which may flow from having to discard a jury shortly before the end of long and complex trial. It is also very conscious of the danger of deliberation attempts to derail criminal trials by engineering situations in which it is necessary to discharge a juror, Lord Lloyd Jones said in delivering the judgment this morning. However, the Privy Council said it had to squash the conviction on several grounds. It said the direction given to the jurors by the judge on the final day of the trial was inadequate to save the situation, and that the judge took no account for overcompensation by jurors who knew about the alleged bribe. It added that there should be no more questions of allowing of the tainted juror to continue, as doing so put the safety of the verdict at risk and was an infringement of the defendant's fundamental rights to a fair hearing. It said the approach taken by the judge was a material irregularity in the trial. The Privy Council pointed to alternative approaches used in England and Wales, where the law allows for a judge alone to continue the case in similar circumstances. The Privy Council has remitted the case to the Court of Appeal for a decision on a retrial. The Director of Public Prosecutions will also have to determine whether she wishes to go forward with the case. Defense attorneys have already indicated they will oppose a retrial. Kartel, Sean Storm, and fellow murder accused expected to seek bail pending appeal court retrial decision. Attorneys for Vybz Kartel and his fellow murder accused are expected to seek bail while the Court of Appeal decide if they should face a retrial. This morning, the United Kingdom-based Privy Council upheld their appeal against their convictions and ordered that the Court of Appeal should consider the matter. Kartel entertainer Sean Storm Campbell, Ahira Jones, and Andrew St. John were convicted in 2014 for killing Clive Lizard Williams in 2011. They have denied any involvement in the killing. Campbell was the chief appellant. His attorney Bert Samuels said he will be seeking to get instructions from his client to the next step, while noting that his role was to handle the Privy Council appeal and that his work is done. Samuels said the likely move is that the bail would now be sought for Campbell. He now has the right to apply for bail because he is now awaiting the decision of the court whether he should be removed to trial or not. So no doubt when their lawyer up, he will be able to knock on the doors because the first move is to try and obtain bail pending the hearing, whether there should be a retrial or not, Samuels said at a press conference after the verdict was handed down. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded the appeals should be allowed and that the appellant's convictions should be squashed on the grounds of jury misconduct and that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants, stated Lord David Lloyd Jones, one of the 5 lords who heard the appeal. Samuels said the accused men are no longer convicts as their convictions have been set aside by the Privy Council. Samuels, Esat Buchanan, and Bianca Samuels formed part of the local team of defense appeal attorneys for Campbell. Jubilation in Gaza as Kartel's murder conviction squashed. Residents of the Gaza community in Portmore St. Catherine burst into cheers after hearing that the murder convictions of Vybz Kartel and his co-accused were squashed by the Privy Council. After the ruling, a woman who goes by the name Gaza Mitchell was seen screaming and declaring that she knew he would be eventually freed. "Me know, God a God, Mr. Ki dream me and tell me say, me a go look for him and tell him say him a go free," she shouted until her voice became hoarse. Another resident was heard saying, "Him no deserve this free world boss." The Privy Council had ordered that the incarcerated dancehall artist Vybz Kartel and his 3 co-accused had their convictions squashed for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. The residents believe that he will eventually be freed from his conviction when the matter is brought before the appeal court in Jamaica. Many argue that significant portions of the 64-day trial of the 4 men violated their constitutional rights, resulting in an unjust trial. Despite their appeal to the Court of Appeal, 3 years later, their convictions were upheld. However, they were later granted permission to present their case before the Privy Council, the highest judicial body of the Jamaican legal system. Man accused of 2017 killing of 2 brothers to return to court on March 19. A St. James man who is accused of killing 2 brothers is to return to court on Tuesday, March 19 for a bail hearing. Oren Dunn, who evaded the police for more than 6 years, was arrested and charged recently in connection with the July 2017 fatal shooting of Patmore Johnson and his brother, Okan Johnson, of Albion St. James. Dunn, who was placed on the St. James Most Wanted list, appeared in the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday. He is being represented by attorney at law Charles Sinclair. When the matter came up, the court was told that the arresting officer's statement was still outstanding while the post-mortem reports were ready but not yet placed on the prosecution's file. Presiding Judge Session Marie Smith-Ashley then remanded Dunn until March 19, when his lawyer will file a bail application on his behalf. According to the allegations, the problem began on July 16, 2017, with a dispute among residents in the tenement yard where Johnson brothers lived. Several people involved in the dispute reportedly issued violent threats. The quarrel resumed the following morning, and about 8:25, the brothers were in an argument with another man. It is further reported that during the argument, a gun was pulled and both brothers were shot. They reportedly ran a short distance before collapsing in their yard. They were pronounced dead at hospital. Path beneficiaries to see increase in benefits within a few months. Beneficiaries of the Program of Advanced True Health and Education Path are to see an increase in their benefits within a few months. This as government has increased its allocation to the program, which is facilitated by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, to $10.4 billion. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has also noted that $672 million has been allocated to provide social assistance to the elderly through the Social Pension Program. Reacting to the increase at a past town hall meeting in Mapen, Clarendon on Wednesday, Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. noted that government remains committed to ensuring the vulnerable in the society get the support they need. While he did not confirm the specific level of increase, the minister said that the aim is to improve the benefits to reflect the current needs of beneficiaries.
In the allocation to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, we've seen a 28.8%, call it 30% increase in the allocation for PATH, moving us upwards of $10 billion for the first time. The reality is that the government is recognizing that despite all of the great things, it's still not easy. And so if we mean business, if we're serious about ensuring that the bigger, more important issues are taken care of, like our PATH program, then we have to put our money where our mouth is. And so we have seen this 30% increase, and this is also complemented by a more than 120% increase in social pension for our seniors who are over the age of 75, who might be graduating from PATH into that program. The reality is that our hope, let me not say hope, that's right. The intention is that we will be able to increase the benefit and to ensure that it realizes the current needs of our beneficiaries.
Social Security Minister commits to meeting Education Ministry to address issues with school feeding program. Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. has committed to meeting with the Minister of Education to address issues with the school feeding program. This follows concerns raised by a school principal at a town hall meeting in Clarendon on Wednesday, March 13. Principal of Simon Primary and Infant School, Royal Wright, noted that her school is among several institutions having issues with the delivery of nutritional products. In response, the minister noted that while he does not have responsibility for the program, he would highlight the concerns at a meeting with the relevant ministries.
The nutrition product person, I understand from the feeding unit, are paid to deliver the nutrition products to the schools. We have to pay taxes to collect the nutrition products from the schools down here to go up to ours. When they are left at Rock River, I have to collect on my way to work. My other colleague has to collect on her way to work. We are not paid to do that. Secondly, sometimes they come 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm suggesting if there's a shortage of trucks to deliver, contract some persons and assign them to the rural schools and let them come at a time when somebody's there to collect, because it is really outrending. The children are hungry. If they are hungry, they cannot learn, and we are at a loss in feeding them.
Even though the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is not the one that operates that feeding program, we collaborate with the Ministry of Education and Youth, as you know, but it is primarily the Ministry of Education, so Mr. Richardson and the team, that operate that part of it. However, we are all one government and we're one team. So we intend, in short order, to have meetings with the Ministry of Education and Youth, as well as the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And this is a matter that we will bring up with them. We'll raise the issues as you have to see how together we can either define a solution or make some changes, whichever one has to be.
St. James JLP councillors Anthony Murray and Gregory Harris disqualified for refusing to swear on the Bible. Jamaica Labour Party JLP councillors Anthony Murray and Gregory Harris were this morning disqualified from taking their places in the St. James Municipal Corporation after they refused to swear on the Bible to take the oath of office, citing religious beliefs. Murray of the Rose Hall Division and Harris of the South Spring Division had initially chosen to affirm instead of swearing on the Bible during today's first meeting of the Municipal Corporation under newly minted Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon. However, the two men were disqualified from taking their seats after fellow GLP Councillor Charles Sinclair, who represent the Montego Bay Northeastern Division, objected to their refusal on the grounds of their actions violated the Local Governance Act. Section 30 of the Act stipulates that a person who is elected to the position of a mayor or councillor and who does not take or subscribe the prescribed oath of office will be immediately disqualified and should cease to hold the office. However, Murray and Harris are contending that they were given the option to affirm in keeping with their religious belief when they were freshly installed as councillors on March 7, following the February 26 local government election. Interestingly, Kerry Thomas, the People's National Party councillor for the Mount Ceiling Division, also initially chose to affirm rather than swear during the morning's meeting. However, he relented and swore on the Bible shortly after the objections were raised. The municipal corporation is expected to seek clarification on the issue from the Attorney General head of its next meeting. JLP's Darnett Foster sworn in as councillor for Cornwall Mountain Division. Following a nerve-wracking magisterial recount which ended in her favor, councillor for the Cornwall Mountain Division, Darnett Foster, was sworn in at the first meeting of the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation. Clad in a white jumpsuit and waving her Jamaican flag, Foster stood and took her oath, smiling from ear to ear as her supporters looked on cheerfully. Foster, a justice of the peace, had a close run with the People's National Party Abigail Malcolm after the initial election results saw Foster winning by 16 votes. The final count also showed that Foster tipped Malcolm as the margin increased from 16 to 27. However, the PNP were not convinced, and so a battle to the court ensued and Malcolm secured attorney-at-law Clayton Morgan, while Foster had senior Charles Sinclair at the recount. At the end of the magisterial recount on March 6, Foster was victorious in her quest to be seated in the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation. Foster and her lawyer, King's Counsel Tom Tavares Vinson, were happy with her result as they stood outside the Westmoreland Parish Court. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.